Yo guys, my name is Jeracraft and today we are going to be taking a look at over 35 different fence wall designs. I've been experimenting to try and develop the most elaborate designs ever. I've been using everything from anvils to minecarts, armor stands, signs, you name it, I've used it. So without further ado, let's begin. Now the beginning of this video required a lot of experimenting, so I was trying to use blocks that you won't normally use to build a fence in Minecraft. So I was using armor stands to begin with, as you can see, and some of these first designs might not be as amazing, but I promise you it will get better as we go along. Now for this next design, all you need is some stair blocks and some signs. I also gave it some pressure plates placed along the top just to give it that extra bit of edge. But again guys, this is just me experimenting. I did make some variations to this design later on, which you will see. Now I've seen a lot of modern style builders where they kind of use leaves right around their house. I advise using some signs right across the leaves just like this, and it just gives it that extra bit of detail. Apart from that, it gives it a kind of fencing rather than just having stacked leaves right around the house. This design is the exact same thing, except instead of using leaves, I've used some fence instead, but still quite handy. Now this is where things get a slight bit more interesting. All you have to do is place a fence block, a sign, some oak wood slab, and then a sign again. And I did make a slight change to this design later on, where I gave it a bit of cobblestone, just in case you want to add some cobblestone. I don't know guys, it's the kind of build I would use maybe for some stables. Now I have no idea why I haven't used this design before. It's perfect. I absolutely love the look of it, giving the oak wood pillars a bit more depth, a bit more detail, and I did make some variations to this design as well, one with some trapdoors and another with some full blocks and some stair blocks, just again to give it a bit more extra depth. I really do like this next one as well, and it's also relatively easy to build, just using some stair blocks, some fence across the middle, and also some signs on the top and bottom edges. Now remember guys, some designs are better than others. This one in particular I kind of like, but it does have its flaws. One is the fact that you can practically walk straight through it. But hey, I'm giving you guys some build tips and ideas, and hopefully you guys can develop my designs and even come up with your own. Now, although very simplistic, just using some carpet and an anvil, it does have a slight trick. You do need to place some string right in between each anvil in order to place the carpet. Right guys, now let's continue using first person view, because this is where things get a slight bit more complicated. After messing about with various stair blocks to make up this wall, I decided to jump into something a bit more complicated. Now the idea was to build in Minecraft using blocks you don't normally use, and believe me, I've never built anything using a minecart, but this wall looks so much better and it has that extra bit of detail just by using a minecart. We got some cobblestone slab right here, some cobblestone stairs, and we have the minecart right in between two block high pillars of stone brick. And this design is relatively similar. The only difference is we have the minecart kind of settled inside the cobblestone slab, and I actually came across this by accident. To do this, all you have to do is place two extra blocks right behind the minecart and add in that extra bit of rail so that the minecart kind of slides down. And again, you could use this for many things really. You could come up with so many different designs using this concept. Now here's a very simple design using some trapdoors and a row of signs. This is where I tend to use a lot of gate. It's amazing how many things I could create just by using some gate. And you could even create these wave-like designs. And I'm not gonna lie, I have seen this before, but I thought I'd include it in the video anyway, just in case some of you have not actually come across this design before. You could use this to actually upgrade the farm inside one of your default Minecraft villages. Why not? And if you want to go a step further, you can even add some armor stands, and when you do add in that armor stand, it will drop straight through the cobblestone wall or even fence. So and this is quite nice. It kind of reminds me of an entrance into a graveyard, maybe an entrance into a church. I don't know guys, but there's some ideas for you. Now, I'm not too sure about this one. What we have here is a gate and an armor stand drop straight through to create this kind of rickety looking fence, if that's even a word. This is one of the smallest archways in Minecraft. It has a nice arch effect and it works perfect as an entrance into, I don't know guys, a house, a back garden, mansion, whatever you guys want to do. I would love to see you guys use that. And this is where things go a slight bit crazy using some pistons. I was really trying to experiment and try and develop my own kind of unique designs. I swear I'll give someone a cookie if he counts how many times I've said design in this video. Again, over here we have something kind of unique. We have doors. Yes, doors. And you can use practically any door you prefer. Not too kind of happy about this one. I kind of prefer the look of this. Now, I've seen a lot of people using stair blocks to create a wall or a fence, and I've kind of gone a step further here and added in some signs across the back, and it just gives the build a bit more contrast and that extra bit of edge right inside the wall. It looks quite nice. And this design is, I said it again, but this design is the same thing, except I've used various different stair blocks to create gaps in between the wall. Again, over here we have some upside down stair blocks. We've got some trapdoors across the back and some slab across the bottom. Not entirely happy about this one, but there it is. You guys can kind of use it to get some build tips and ideas. Now, I do kind of like this. The only problem, of course, is that once again you can walk straight through it, so it's not really the best. And this is an example of the kind of things you can create, but I really do not recommend it. It's not really the best. Now, this is something slightly more interesting, using some iron bars, cobblestone wall, some carpet across the top. Over here, again, similar to the designs we created before. The only difference is we have stair blocks in this formation, creating some nice depth to the build. And of course, once again, we do have some signs right across the back to add in that extra bit of detail. Now, these last two designs are really complex. A lot of stuff going on over here. We have signs, we have some fence, we got a sign on top of the fence, carpet, and then cobblestone wall with, of course, the armor stand, which drops straight through. Although it looks complicated, I guess you can kind of replicate this just by looking at it. I created a nice edge over here using signs placed in a different direction. So there you go, guys. That is over 35 different fence wall designs. Now stay tuned for the next video, as I have something very similar to this. I'm going to show you guys some different decorations that you can add to your house. Just stay tuned, subscribe, and I will see you next time. This is Jeracraft, over and out.